Welcome back to another segment of Daytime Corks and Spirits presented by Georgetown Square Wine and Liquor. I'm back here at Georgetown Square with Steve. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming back, Chelsea. And today we have a special guest, one of my former employees, wine managers, Ryan Stewart, who's going to be explaining some of his wares to us.
Hi, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay,
Yes.
What are we talking about today?
Yeah, so I pulled, since it's January, it's a time where a lot of people aren't necessarily buying the most premium wines
Right.
if they're drinking
We
it all
already
this
gifted
month.
those
Yeah,
all away.
exactly. So this is kind of the time to like reset, find some good values, find some things that you can drink regularly, and kind of explore some new wines. So we have 3 different value wines, and then we also pulled some ports. We can kind of chat about port today a little bit.
Sure, let's start with the value wines.
Yeah, so the first one in the lineup is from a producer named Chateau Le Malt, one of my favorites, one of the kind of staples of Bordeaux. It's also one of our first 23s to come out. So this just inbound.
It's usually popular, very popular wine.
And where is that made?
So it's from Bordeaux, France.
Okay.
He's a really great grower in the center part of Bordeaux. So it's kind of one of the main growing areas in Bordeaux. And this wine has been, really his main wine for years. And it's a Sauvignon Blanc blend. So Sauvignon Blanc Semillon with a little bit of Muscadel. It's a really aromatic, expressive, like
beautiful wine.
Everyday drinking wine. And it's fun to get the fresh stuff out.
There you go, an everyday drinking wine. Just what you need it.
Yeah,
Certainly.
exactly.
To go along with a
Yeah.
white, now we have a nice red.
Yeah, so then one of the red values, we just picked this brand up last year, and I think these wines are really remarkable values. So this is a producer named Spoken West. It's made by a guy named Jamie Whetstone, who's a young, very talented winemaker in California, who has another label that's more Pinot Noir and Chardonnay driven, that's higher end wines, but his value line called Spoken West is fruit sourced from all sustainably farmed, like good, well-farmed vineyards on the north part of the West Coast. So his Cabernet, the 2020 Cabernet, is really, really great. So the last of the value wines is Freelander. The whole Freelander line, the Chardonnay, the Cabernet, and the Pinot Noir are, once again, remarkable values. This is made by a really talented winemaker who kind of like made his name in Napa Valley. And this is kind of like his entry-level line, and it's just all really great values. Once again, all sustainably grown, well-farmed fruit, and the Pinot Noir this year is like absolutely delicious.
So as we're going into the colder weather, ports are always very popular this time of the year.
Yeah, ports are fun.
Can
Yeah.
you explain though what a port actually is? What does it mean to be a port?
So there's a huge category of wine that's fortified wine, meaning you have wines that are made and then fortified with a neutral spirit. So they're going to have more alcohol to them, generally a little bit more sugar. They're going to be more stable, and they're going to be richer, so you can keep them open for a long time. Port, specifically, to be a port has to be from the Douro Valley in Portugal. So the city of Porto in northern Portugal, this is like the home base of all these port houses. It's got a really long history. I think it's the third oldest, government regulated wine region, and the first that had like very specific rules to it.
So port is to Portugal what champagne is to France.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
So you'll see if you go into a store, if you're in Georgetown shopping around and you look and you see Taylor port in a 3-liter jug and it's $10, and you come up to these and you're like, these are starting at $15 and going up from there. The big difference, those are domestic, they're kind of grandfathered in. They're still fortified, but they don't have, it's very different animal.
Yeah,
very
different
animal.
integrity.
So we have 3 different styles of port here. Within port, there's really 2 main camps. There's rubies and tawnies. Rubies being more fruit driven, more like dark black fruit, a little bit less of that kind of toffee caramel flavor that you get with long barrel aging, and more vibrant. They generally are ones that you want to drink a little quicker oftentimes than the tawny ports that spend a longer time in barrel and have a little more of that oxidative feel to it. That said, each of these is fine for over a month open. You can keep them open for a really long time because these are 20% alcohol.
So if you're doing a semi-dry January, if you're just doing 1 glass a night,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
this will last you.
These are great by the fire. If you're into cigars, these are great. This is, excellent dessert wines.
They're actually wonderful with cheeses.
Cheese, yep.
Roquefort, stuff like that. They just have real nice flavors to you.
This has been super informative, and guess what? You're gonna get a bang for your buck even if you're not participating.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
As always, you can shop their products or learn more about what they have to offer over at gtownwine.com.